No, Prabhuji, you can take over. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, you got cut in between, Prabhuji, the voice, so.
Oh, okay. Narayam Namaskrityam Nara Nashpreshu Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavate Neshtaki. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, Chapter 33.
Mataji, are we able to hear Prabhuji?
Not able to hear, Mataji.
Not able to hear?
Yeah, now we are able to hear Prabhuji, but last 1 minute you were not audible.
Yeah, Prabhuji, there might be some problem with your microphone. So,
I'm putting my mic on now. I mean, now it's
yes.
better?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're doing 22nd or 21st shloka? 21st, right?
22nd, Prabhuji.
Oh, 22nd. Okay, 22nd. So, tam eva dayate devam apatyam kapilam harim babhuvachirato vatsa nishpraha tadrishe grihe tam eva dhayati devam apatyam kapilam harim babhuvachiroto vatsa nishpraha tadrishe grihe. Tam, upon him, eva, certainly, dhyayati, meditating, devam, divine, apatyam, son, kapilam, Lord Kapila, harim, the supreme personality of Godhead, babhuva, became, achirattah, very soon. Vatsa, oh dear Vidura, nishpraha, unattached, tadrishe to such a home. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Purport and translation, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O Vidur, thus always meditating upon her son, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kapil Dev, she very soon became unattached to her nicely decorated home. Purport. Here is a practical example of how one can elevate oneself in spiritual advancement by Krishna consciousness. Kapil Dev is Krishna, and he appeared as the son of Devahuti. After Kapil Dev left home, Devahuti was absorbed in thought of him, and thus she was always Krishna conscious. A constant situation in Krishna consciousness enabled her to be detached from hut and home. Unless we are able to transfer our attachment to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no possibility of becoming freed from material attachment. The Srimad Bhagavatam therefore confirms that it is not possible for one to become liberated by cultivation of empiric philosophical speculation. Simply knowing that one is not matter, but spirit soul, or Brahman, does not purify one's intelligence. Even if the impersonalist reaches the highest platform of spiritual realization, he falls down again to material attachment because of not being situated in the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Lord. The devotees adopt the devotional process, hearing about the Supreme Lord's pastimes and glorifying his activities, and thereby always remembering his beautiful eternal form. By rendering service, becoming his friend or his servant, and offering him everything that one possesses, one is able to enter into the kingdom of God. As it is said in the Bhagavad Gita, Tato mam tattvataho gyatva. After discharging pure devotional service, one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In fact, and thus one becomes eligible to enter into his association in one of the spiritual planets. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshumitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadanti Swapadantikam Mandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutabada Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Sacha Shri Rupam Sakrajatam Sahagana Raghunantam Vitantam Sajivam Tadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Navita Shri Vishakam Vitam Sacha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopikanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshware Vishabhanu Sute Devi Purnamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpaturbhyasya cha kripa sindhubheva cha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnabhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So this chapter, first of all, welcome everyone for the study of the Srimad Bhagavatam class on this Sunday. And I'd like to thank Komudi Mataji for allowing me to give a class on we've been doing every Sunday, and I'm interfering with her schedule. So please accept my apology and forgive my offense of interfering. There's a change in my schedule nowadays, so that's the only day I can do class. So I hope you will forgive me. And so today's chapter, which is activities of Kapila, and this is also the departure of Lord Kapil Dev, the chapter. So we Hare Krishna. Are you there, Komudi Mataji?
Yes, please accept my humble obeisances. It's very nice to hear your voice after a long time. Thank you very much for coming. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Your blessing, Mataji. So, this Krishna consciousness It's a big family. It's like in our Vedic culture, the system of the family was very much stressed and very well planned, in the sense that in the family there will be always an elderly person. And because of the presence of that elderly person, everything would be going smoothly. There was certain fear as well. Even the small kids, even the kids, the parents, they will always have certain fear, not to always show respect to the elderly. In the same way, in our Krishna consciousness movement, when I was in India, we had that type of feeling. Oh, in our temple, we have some elderly person we respect. We have a sannyasi in the temple. We show respect. We won't, misbehave or something like that. We were young at that time when I was there. I was like 20 years old when I was in the temple. So that was like 25 years back. So, in the same way, if now we have an online temple, and I mean telephonic temple that we have now, and we're having Bhagavatam class, and we have elderly people, so we should always take the blessings of elderly and personality. That's why I say that taking the blessing of Komodi Mataji. Yeah. So we should always think, and any newcomer, we should always try to educate this culture that we have to offer respect to the elderly and more senior devotees, and get the blessings before we do anything. And even if we interact in the temple. Nowadays in America, it's not so much prevalent. I don't see that so much, unfortunately. I don't know about India now, but in the old days, we were very conscientious about that. And since in the Parampara also, we have to do that. It's natural like that. So, in the same way as we see here, the devotee, the mother of Kapil Muni, and the wife of Kadharani. And Bhagavatam is so complete in itself. You can see always that when we address somebody, we never address by the name. It's, even Maitreya Rishi is talking. We say Sri Maitreya said. And when the devotee Mataji will talk, will say the wife of Kadharani. This is what respect. The culture of respect is very important, which unfortunately we keep losing because we stay in this place here where there is no respect. In the school, you see that even kids, they don't learn how to respect their teachers in the school. Some do, but generally speaking, it's not like the norm. But in our Vedic culture, through the Bhagavatam, we can see even when addressing some personality, even interaction, we'll say that we address Devotee Mata as the wife of Kadharani. So that was a Vedic culture where we will address a woman by the husband's name, always like that. This is something that is, I'm not trying to be like a fanatic, but I'm just trying to explain how the culture is a culture of respect and honor, and these things, small things, do count in the long run to develop the right consciousness. So, before I go to this chapter 22, the text 22, which is a practical example of how one can elevate oneself in spiritual advancement by Krishna consciousness. That's what Srila Prabhupada is explaining in the purport. And I'll refer to a few previous verses, just like I usually do. If we come to text 20, where there is a question being asked that why Devotee Mata is feeling sorry about losing her son going away. What is attachment? Because we are the whole Gita and the whole message was about detachment. That how can she become so attached? So this example, Srila Prabhupada explains that in the purport of text 21, actually this describes the perfection of love of devotee, the Vatsal Bhava. This type of separation is spiritual separation. It's not like a material type of separation. Srila Prabhupada explained that this example given here is that devotee became just like a cow who has lost her cow. A cow bereft of her cow cries day and night. Similarly, devotee was aggrieved, and she always cried and requested her friends and relatives, please bring my son home so that I may live, otherwise I shall die. This intense affection for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although manifested as affection for one's son, is spiritually beneficial. So if you see in the very, very beginning of the chapter, the first of this chapter, the first verse, there is a special word that we talk about, Janitri, which stands for Janayitri, mother. So, but we, in this case, we understand that devotee was freed of all ignorance of attachment, and more than that, the way Kapil Muni, the great, skillfully explained about bhakti, jnana, and different type of yoga perfections, that explains how whatever doubts that Devotee Mata had, that been completely taken away. And not only that, she was so fortunate to have the Lord as a son. So whatever interaction she was having, actually the whole show was meant for us, to educate us, right? But through that conversation, we came to learn so many things. But to have the Lord as your son is not an ordinary thing. It's not like we can't compare that with anything else, like anything in the material world, the relation between the son and mother. That in the material world we can't have any comparison with that. Maybe Prabhupada will always say it can become to the love between the mother and son can be compared to one drop of that real love, that real Vatsal Bhava that exists in the spiritual world. So, that being said, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that every woman can qualify herself as much as devotee, and then can also have the Supreme Personality of Godhead as their son. Every woman can have that potential of playing that role that devotee played, and develop that Vatsal Bhava of having Krishna as his son. And I've seen in many families, tradition is when the girl gets married, very often the mother will give a small baby Krishna as a gift to the daughter to bring to the new house. Materially, people think, okay, I'm giving baby Krishna, maybe that we are hoping that the girl gets a baby boy. Nowadays, people think like that. But actually, the real reason of giving baby Krishna is to develop that love towards Krishna, towards serving Krishna in the Spal Roop. So, Prabhupada explained that if the Supreme Personality of Godhead can appear as the son of devotee, he can also appear as the son of any other woman. provided that the woman is qualified. This is very, very strong statement Srila Prabhupada is giving. So I want to repeat this again, that every woman can qualify herself as much as devotee, and then can also have the Supreme Godhead as her son. If the Supreme Personality of Godhead can appear as the son of Devahuti, he can also appear as the son of any other woman, provided that the woman is qualified. So if one gets the Supreme Lord as his son, one can have the benefit of bringing up a nice son in this world, and at the same time get promotion to the spiritual world to become the face-to-face associate of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In all the different books, in all different katha speeches and everything that I've been hearing, there is nowhere such a bold and strong statement uttered like that. Like this specific, very clear, without any doubt, that every woman can qualify herself as much as they want. Such a strong statement given by Srila Prabhupada. So it's not an ordinary some words coming from the lotus mouth of our spiritual master and Vaishnavas, especially Srila Prabhupada. We should not take that to be an ordinary words. And we can see that Srila Prabhupada comments further on devotees' love for Kapil Muni in our text today, on text 22. And here in the purport, when Prabhupada is saying, here is a practical example of how one can elevate oneself in spiritual advancement by Krishna consciousness. Kapil Dev is Krishna, and he appeared as a son of devotee. After Kapil Dev left home, devotee was absorbed in the thought of him, and thus she was always Krishna conscious. Her constant situation in Krishna consciousness enabled her to be detached from thought and form. Unless we are able to transfer our attachment to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no possibility of becoming freed from the material detachment. So there is that's why I always give this example of rejecting a lower taste for a higher taste. That is what's happening. And this is referred to as well in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 59. Vishaya vinivartante niradharasya dehina rasavarajam raso apya asyaha param drishtva nivartate. So this param drishtva nivartate, this experiencing of a param, of a superior type of taste, will help us to reject nivartante, this rejection of this lower taste. So if you see proper translation for this verse, Vishaya virtante nirahasya dehina, thus the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment. The taste of sense objects remains, but seizing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. If you see the purport, Prabhupada clearly is stating, unless one is transcendentally situated, it is not possible to cease from sense enjoyment. The process of restriction from sense enjoyment by rules and regulations, something like restricting a diseased person from certain types of eatables. The patient, however, neither likes such restrictions nor loses his taste for eatables. Similarly, sense restriction by some spiritual process like Astanga Yoga, in the matter of Yam, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharma, Dhyana, is recommended for less intelligent persons who have no better knowledge, but one who has tasted the beauty of the Supreme Personality of God Krishna in the course of his advancement in Krishna consciousness no longer has a taste for dead material things. Therefore, restrictions are there for the less intelligent neophytes in the spiritual advancements of life, but such restrictions are only good until one actually has a taste for Krishna consciousness. When one is actually Krishna conscious, he automatically loses his taste for pale things. So, all these souls who are in the body of a woman, as Prabhupada is saying, it can easily, if we have our children and we are taking care of our children nicely and bringing them Krishna conscious way, we make it our duty to bring Krishna conscious in their lives. We make nice prasad, we offer to our deity, we have Bhagavatam classes going on, we do it a duty to infuse and to saturate the atmosphere with Krishna consciousness. What will happen? Gradually we will lose all the lower taste and develop a higher taste, and the children also will lose lower taste and develop higher taste of Krishna consciousness. That is what Srila Prabhupada is explaining, that there is this bringing up in this a nice song in this world, and at the same time get promoted to the spiritual world. That's the real benefit of practicing Krishna, pure Krishna consciousness. So by rendering service, right, by becoming his friend, or his servant of Krishna, by offering everything one possesses, one is able to enter the Goloka Dhama. So, the quality of a devotee's love for God is very important. It is very important for us to develop that quality. See, even if whatever we do, whatever process of sadhana we are practicing, we are sadhaks, and we have a process of sadhana, that we've been all devotees for a long time, practically. So, whatever we are doing, it should be with some quality. This is very important. We should increase our quality of hearing, our quality of chanting, our quality of studying. That we have to increase it. And in the last part of the purport, Prabhupada is stating that the devotees adopt the devotional process, hearing from the Supreme Lord's pastimes, glorifying the Krishna's activities, always remembering the eternal form. So here, Srila Prabhupada was, as mentioned before, he was contrasting between people who are like yogis or jnana yogis, and it is even said here. He even said clearly that in the Srimad Bhagavatam, therefore, confirms that it is not possible for one to become liberated by cultivation of empiric philosophical speculation. Simply knowing that one is not matter, but spirit, soul, or Brahman, doesn't purify one's intelligence. Because the soul needs engagement. Even theoretically, we know that we are not this body. And we know what is the Bhagavad Gita, we know everything. Even theoretically, we are knowing this. But if we don't engage ourselves in the practices of devotional service, we will fall down. And that is what Srila Prabhupada. Even if the in-person reaches the highest platform of the spiritual realization, he falls down again to material attachment because of not being situated in transcendental loving service of the Supreme Lord. So this material attachment is very, very strong for everyone. Whether it is a Jnana Yogi, whether it is a Karma Yogi, and for everybody. But if we properly engage ourselves in devotional service, by hearing about Krishna, by glorifying his past activities, by remembering his eternal form, by rendering service, becoming his friend, his servant, and serving the devotees, what will happen? We will become eligible to enter in the spiritual world, and this is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. And as Srila Prabhupada is explaining, Bhaksyamam vivadanti yavannat yasya chasmi tattvataha tato mam tattvato gyatva vishati tad antaram. So that's what Prabhupada is saying at the end of the purport. Tato mam tattato gyatva. So tato mam tattato gyatva. Gyatva means knowledge, knowing. So one can understand, one can know Supreme Lord as He is only by devotional service. Only by devotional service we can understand the Lord. And when one is in full consciousness of the Supreme Lord, by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of Krishna. And that is in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text 55. This is a very interesting shloka we have to remember. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavanyas chasmi tattataha tato mam tattvato gyatva vishate tad antaram. So, this is one thing. But I'll add something else. Here it is mentioned that one is, so quoting from Srila Prabhupada, one is fully conversant with Krishna consciousness, with Krishna science, becomes eligible to enter into the spiritual kingdom of Krishna. Right? By practicing devotional service. Right? We attain even the highest and Brahma Bhuta stage from the material conceptions. And but one thing I would add is, if you see in the text before, when I was reading, there is a nice text where there's a description given. I'm remembering that way I read that, but there's a description given about the Lord, the description of the Lord by Makandari Rishi. Anil Prabhu is on the call? Haribo, Anil Prabhu?
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Can you look for that shloka? It should be somewhere in the. It should be there in the previous where it is given that it is showed that. Why I want to bring that? I think I got it. It's text 33, text 4. If you go in text 4. I want to bring that to your attention in relation to that. And I'll conclude with this because it's very beautiful. So tam brihato me jathare nanatha katam nu yasyodara etat asit vishram yugante vatapatra eka shetismaha maya shishur angri panaha. We're talking about baby. So, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you have taken birth from my abdomen. O my Lord, how is that possible for the Supreme One, who has in his belly all the cosmic manifestations? The answer is that it is possible, for at the end of the millennium, you lie down on the leaf of a banyan tree, and just like a small baby, you lick the toe of your lotus tree. This is very, very important shloka for all of us, but specifically for us practicing devotees. Because what I want to stress is very, very important. This actually, this drishti, this scene of Krishna lying on a banyan leaf and sucking his toe is described by Markandeya. That's Rishi. In the Bal Mukunda Sutram, very nicely written, the Bal Mukunda. This, during the universal deluge, the Supreme Lord Narayan take this form of a little baby floating on this banyan leaf. And there's this pralay, the waters, there's so many waters of cosmic dissolution, all this happening. And the Lord protects the universe by swallowing all in his tiny stomach. He's swallowing everything. And Bilva Mangala Thakur in the Leela Sukha, in the Krishna Karanamrita Shloka 257, describes this Bal Mukunda. And it's Bilva Mangala Thakur. He says, Kararavindena padaravindam mukaravinde viniveshyantam vatasya patasya puteshayanam balam mukundam manasah smaraman. Translation: with his soft lotus hands, our baby Mukunda has grabbed his lotus-like toe and placed it in his lotus mouth, decorated with red lips, and sucks on it amusement as he rests on the tender shoot of a pupil leaf, contemplating on the next cycle of creation. So, this drishti, this scene that's happening is mentioned in the Mahabharata as well as in the Bhagavatam. So, when I was reading, Sutta Goswami was explaining that how the Supreme Lord Narayan was satisfied by proper glorification offered by Markandeya. And that's the Lord who was explaining that there. So we're going to be explaining there. So what happened is that the sage, he went to meditate. This meditation is very important. One evening, he sat down on the bank of the river Subhadra to do his evening sandhya, his evening worship. And when he was in meditation, he was doing his sandhya and his meditation, he was feeling that the sea, the water is rising on all sides and coming towards him. And gradually it was increasing, and all of a sudden, everything became flooded. And the water was so strong that he was swept away by the water. But he didn't die. Then he saw the whole world submerged in water. And he would see different sea creatures. Some sea creatures would swallow him, and sometimes other creatures would throw him out. He would come out again. And he's wandering in this situation for several millions and millions of years. In this darkness. And then he saw a tiny baby sleeping on in this dark. He saw this people leaf. And there's this tiny baby sleeping on this banyan tree, people leaf. And it is stated that in the I don't know where exactly, but it's a Vedic literature. There is in one of the sloka explaining about this whole world where we are, and it is compared that this whole creation, this whole is compared like a village, which is balanced on a banyan leaf. And that the life of an individual is like a drop of water running down from that leaf and can fall down at any minute. So when Markandeya noticed this banyan leaf floating in this big, vast ocean, and he was really amazed. He was like thinking of a solace, right, a shelter. And this leaf was like a small raft on this ocean. And he could see Krishna, the newborn, like a newborn cosmic baby. And there was a smile on Krishna's face, on this baby's smile. Because his pralay is so harsh, this cosmic deluge is so harsh, that when he saw the smile of Krishna, it appeased his fear and make the scene more peaceful. And that compassionate glance, reassured Markandeya that there's the change happening, but life is still going on. So when Markandeya saw the baby Krishna sucking his own big toe, then that drishti, when he saw that scene, then he composed this stuti, this Bala stuti. And then he went close to the baby. And when he went close, Krishna took a breath, and the rishi was sucked in with the air inside Krishna, inside the belly of Krishna, inside the body of Krishna. And when he went inside the body of Krishna, he saw hundreds of thousands of universes, and all that had been consumed by the big pralay, the sky, the sea, the earth, the demons, the rakshasas, the devatas, all human beings, animal species, everything, this cosmic manifestation, everything. Even his own glimpse of his own ashram, where he was on the banks of Subhadra river. And he saw himself sitting in meditation. And then Markandeya thus realized that this child that he saw, this baby, was none other than the cosmic Krishna, the cosmic Narayan. So, but he was a devotee of Krishna, or actually of Narayan. And since Markandeya Rishi was worshipping the Lord was pleased with him and was ready to give him any boons he wished for. But his wish was to always to witness that form of Krishna, actually, baby Krishna. And Markandeya had no material desire when he approached the Lord. So, but even the Lord asked him to ask for a boon. So what he says, Markandeya says in prayer, "Oh my Lord, I have obtained your vision, and I desire nothing else. But however, I want to see what your Maya is. Please grace me with a glimpse of your Maya." So the Lord became surprised to hear this request from Markandeya. And he said, "Okay, you will have a glimpse." Then what happened? He came out from the baby. When the baby exhaled, when Krishna baby exhaled, Markandeya came out. He went to he came out and he bowed down to Krishna. And then he realized there was no baby and no other scene. And he was back to the same spot on the same day, at the same time as when he started his sandhya, his worship of the Lord. So he was back to the same spot. So that is very interesting to see how Maya, how the power of Maya. He wanted to see, and then the Lord threw him out of his belly, and then he's back to the same spot where he was. And then now he started thinking, Mekandiya. Then he started thinking, what all this? What I saw? What was that? Then he understood one thing. He said that this was. Then he realized that it's the play of Maya. So Maya by this energy, because Maya also is the energy of Krishna. But when we are in Maya, Srila Prabhupada translates Maya as forgetfulness of Krishna. So somehow Maya hides Krishna in some way. The truth. So Mekandiya was wonderstruck. He realized that one can never understand God. But we can never understand Krishna absolutely 100%. Anybody who says, I understand Krishna completely, he is in Maya. Through this, that's why I am trying to bring the story here to make things people understand, devotees realize that we should take always a humble position. We can't come and say, now I know everything. Now I know Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't. We should understand the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu was in that Virabha, separation bhav, but he was always longing for Krishna. He was teaching us we should always looking for Krishna. We can't actually have an artificial sentiment of looking for Krishna. It should be naturally. But that will come with purification. But one should realize that we can never understand Krishna. Krishna is achintya, inconceivable. But what we do is we can only sing his glories. We can pray, we can take a humble position, surrender to Krishna, worship Krishna. But we don't try to intellectually overcome Krishna and say, okay, now I understand everything. We can't say that. That's against the bhakti principles of bhakti. And whoever comes to that stage of thinking that now we understand Krishna completely, he fall down. That is an example that is a lesson that Mekandiya Rishi is teaching us. And Mother Devotee is teaching us at the end through the Vatsabhav, being absorbed in the Vatsabhav, in the separation, in the grief of a separation for a son, is true spiritual love, Vatsabhava. Srila Prabhupada discusses this importance of separation. Anyone who is initiated in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, we are so lucky to taste this viraha, this vipralamba bhava, this love in separation. Srila Prabhupada discusses the importance of the spiritual separation in Krishna book, for instance. When Krishna goes to the forest with his cowherd boys and with the cows for grazing, and the parents also feel separation, because Krishna and Balaram and all the cows they are going. And the gopis as well, at home they know Krishna is going, but they don't physically go. They will feel separation with Krishna. And this same strong feeling of separation is actually expressed in the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his direct disciples, Srila Goswamis. So when we are not in physical contact with Krishna, we can associate with Krishna like the gopis, with the feelings of separation. And this is mentioned by Srila Prabhupada in Krishna book. Krishna's transcendental form, qualities, pastimes, entourage are all identical with him. Those who are in the disciplic succession of the Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya should always feel separation from Krishna. Worship his transcendental form and discuss his transcendental teachings, his pastimes, his qualities, and his entourage. That will enrich the devotees to the highest devotional perfection. Feeling constant separation while engaged in the service of the Lord is the perfection of Krishna consciousness. Page 332, 333, Krishna book. So please read this. It's very, very important to understand that. So thank you for listening. And I'm open now for questions and comments. Hare Krishna. Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Very nice. You narrated the story of Markandeya Rishi. It's not a story, it's a history. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. That is so nice. I mean, if you guys read this, we should try to find the Bal Mukunda Sotram and read. That's so nice. And we have to understand through the message of Markandeya Rishi and Srila Prabhupada that we should try to feel that mood of separation. And Mahaprabhu, of course, feeling constant separation while engaged in the service of the Lord is a perfection of Krishna consciousness. That is so beautiful. Ah, my God. This page, Anil Prabhu, do you know this page 332 and 333 from Krishna book?
Okay, I'll note down, Prabhu. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I didn't have the Krishna book in front of me right now, but I am in front of the computer right now. I think what the Markandeya Muni story you mentioned is from the 12th canto, 9th chapter, right?
Yeah. That is also from Bhagavatam, and there is in Mahabharata also there is a thought where it is explained. 2 places.
Okay.
Yeah, but I want you to get this page 332 and 33, and this should be this part that I was mentioning. It should be take a photocopy, and if you can take it out and print it and send to all the devotees, that will be very good if you can do that.
Sure,
and everybody should read this,
Yeah,
I want a page where Prabhupada is explaining this. Feeling constant separation while engaging in service of Krishna is a perfection of Krishna consciousness, because people have a tendency when we read and understand Krishna consciousness for a long time, then we say, now I understand Krishna. That is a danger. When you start thinking that you know Krishna, that is a danger. That is very, very dangerous. Because actually, that's not our fault. It sounds fault because in Bhagavad Gita that we mentioned of 1855, it says one can understand the Supreme Personality as is only by devotional service, and when one is fully Krishna consciousness, he can enter the kingdom of God. So that is there, but we should not take advantage of this sloka. We go, we have a hope. That is still hope that we're going. We should, that is one step. We should go above that. The other step is page 332 and 333 in Krishna book, and given by Srila Prabhupada. We are all followers of Prabhupada, right? We are taking initiation. All our spiritual masters are initiated by Srila Prabhupada, so we should follow Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada, I mean, if you read only Srila Prabhupada books, you will get everything. There is no need to read here and there. I always tell people this. Everything is there. He gave everything. And nowadays I have seen so many devotees, they read so many other things. And what Srila Prabhupada gave, they neglect. I've seen that. From experience I'm talking. I'm not trying to criticize anybody, but I'm saying that we should be conscientious and more seriously we should study Srila Prabhupada books. Even our Bhagavatam, I'm telling you our Srila Prabhupada Bhagavatam, right? In this lifetime we want to be able to finish studying if you want to study and analyze completely, in this lifetime you won't be enough to do that. So why to waste time in studying, reading other books? Study our Bhagavatam and everything is here. Any comments and questions from anybody else?
So page 332.
Huh?
Go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Shri Guru Maharaj. Very, very wonderful class, Prabhuji, and as always, you explained very nicely from the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Very, very wonderful.
Yeah, Sham Kori Mataji ki jai. You like Prabhupada and you follow Prabhupada, so I said today I'll say something about Prabhupada so as everybody can get encouraged and enthusiastic, you know. So we should follow Prabhupada nicely. Why you waste time here and there? I don't want to waste time here and there. Don't have time.
Yeah.
And this example is so nice. We should read. We should read more about it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji, for doing that. Any other comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Could you tell me which chapter it is? The page number 32, 332.
No, but Krishna book is in 332. I don't know which chapter. I don't have
that's okay.
Krishna book in front of me right now.
Yeah, all right.
But I know I took it from 332. You should check it because this should be in the last part because it's about the Krishna and the cowherd boys and cows when they're going. So let me check that.
Sure. Thanks.
And so today is Sunday and nobody is doing. Today there's no work, so you guys should ask more questions and study more.
Yeah.
In the week, weekdays I agree. Okay, they have to go to work. There is no time. Sunday we have to study more and ask more questions.
Yes. Maybe devotees have more services. Maybe that's why. I don't know.
Good. Services is always good. This is our life.
Yeah.
We should be saturated. I was reading on Bhagavatam the other day. This word they use, saturated. I think same chapter. One should be saturated with Krishna consciousness. You know, in the old days we say the devotees don't go to sleep; they take rest. It means
yes,
they take rest because they are doing service. They are so tired that they take rest from service, but they don't go to sleep. This is the mood.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very, very wonderful class. So, Prabhuji, I have a question but not connected with the class.
No problem.
It's a request actually. So, since you're a pujari for a long time, Prabhuji, you can one day talk about, the deities, deity worship, the standard in the house, what should we follow, and the meaning of Aarti, and general introduction about deity worship.
Yeah, that's the whole 1 hour class. That we should discuss with Sham Gauri Mataji. We can do that one Sunday. That would be nice. We can do.
Yeah, it's true.
We can do it nicely, but think just in a few words, I just explained that there is 2 vidhi. One is Pancharatric vidhi, and then the Bhagavad Marg, the Bhagavad vidhi. It's like considered to be like rails. So the train goes, the 2 lines rails. It's like that, parallel lines going for a train. For the train to move, there should be 2 parallel lines. Similarly, our life, spiritual life, because we are so conditioned. Prabhupada would say that chanting is enough, but we are so fallen and so conditioned that we need proper engagement. So that's one of the proper engagement is to do deity worship, especially for grihasthas, for householders. So Prabhupada always mentioned that in deity worship, physically our body, our sense of touch will be purified when we touch the body of the deities and serve the deities. But we have to bear in mind that we should not neglect our Bhagavad Marg or Nam. So the main engine behind proper deity worship is our chanting. So if you chant properly, then we can do deity worship properly without offense. So basically we have 3 types of offenses: Nam offense, Nam Aprad, Seva Aprad, and Vaishnava Aprad. These 3 basic, that is meaning. So we will, in deity worship, we have to be very careful of Seva Aprad. So Seva Aprad, there are so many of them. The list is given in Nectar of Devotion. But basically at home, we should keep our deity worship very simple, but very consistent. Just like our chanting is very consistent. I got this realization, since you're asking me about realization, I can share one today. I've been dressing for a long time. It's for like all these years, 20 years. 20 years of dressing every day, doing Aarti or Mangala Aarti and everything. But there is some time when there's a day that I don't dress. Like I'm dressing, but one day I get off. So sometimes I'll chant my rounds in the temple. But one realization I got is that my chanting, because see, all of you guys are chanting your rounds in the morning when I am dressing. But unfortunately, I can't say unfortunately, but I have to dress the load from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, 7:15. So that 2-hour time is a japa time, and I'm not chanting at that time. I'm dressing the deities. So then it means that I have to chant my rounds before I start my morning worship, or I can chant after. So when I was chanting once, when I get the chance on that day off, when I get the chance to chant my rounds during that time, I feel so happy. I feel happy as well, but at the same time, my experience is that my chanting is like dressing Krishna. That is one experience I'm sharing. That's my personal experience I'm sharing. That my chanting Hare Krishna is like dressing the Lord Krishna, because I dress Krishna. I try to become instrumental and dress Krishna with intensity. So by chanting, I try to chant intensely in the same mood as I am dressing Krishna. So when this happens, it's like the Markandeya Rishi's story, that you lose the sense of time. Means in the same way, when you are absorbed in the service of Krishna through deity worship, you will lose all sense of time. Meaning that time flies like that because you are so absorbed in that you don't know where time goes. There you go. Hare Krishna. You can hear?
Prabhuji, we are hearing. Hare Krishna. Go on.
Yeah. I lost you guys also. So, that I was saying that at times we say, for people who are in the material world, sometimes we are so absorbed in their work also that they feeling that time just goes like that. But there are people that say, oh, when this will finish, what will happen? They are impatient. They say, oh, when will it happen? What will happen? What will that? For them, time is slow. But when we are completely engaged in Krishna consciousness, it's like a different dimension. So I always say that the deities are the windows to the spiritual world. It's a very different world. They are the windows into the spiritual world, deity worship. Okay, Mataji?
Thank you, Prabhu. We would like to listen to one full class, Prabhuji. One basic question, Prabhuji. Nowadays, previously we know that 16 rounds of chanting, is it a must for people to start worshipping the deities at house, or I see some people who are not chanting 16 rounds, but 4 or 5 rounds, but coming to Bhakti Vriksha, they also have deities. So what is the standard?
Yeah, that is a very good question. I like this question because that I remember talking about that in the very beginning of my classes on the call. I mentioned that during Prabhupada's time, Prabhupada will never encourage people to have deities in the beginning. If ever we have deities, you should have Gaur-Nitai deities. You understand? So Gaur-Nitai deities are not so, you have to take care, means they are merciful, so it's not a question that we should not take care of them, but it's not like as strict as Radha Krishna deities or Bal Krishna deities. Nowadays people have Radha Krishna and Bal Krishna. It is more important for beginners in Bhakti Vriksha, those people who come, to study Srila Prabhupada books and to chant. They have to put all the energy, whatever they have, because we don't have, because they have to work. They have to do other responsibilities. So whatever little time, whatever is left, they have to concentrate more on the chanting and the study of Srila Prabhupada books rather than on deity worship. So that's unfortunately, they are misguided and they took a different direction. The deity worship will come after the chanting and understanding, when you start developing certain relationship with Krishna. And the other thing I mentioned, I remember, is that Srila Prabhupada will say that our deities that we have, they are expansion of the presiding deity of the temple. So even if I'm staying in suppose Carolina, and there is a temple, main temple, the deities that are in our house, they are expansion of that deity. Understand that? So the whole idea of having Bhakti Vriksha was to support the deity in the temple, not to have independent deities and then dedicate your whole time in your deity worship at home. Haribol? Haribol,
Yeah,
Haribol.
yes, Prabhuji.
You can hear?
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so that is very important thing. If you have a Bhakti Vriksha going on, we should stress on the people because their time is limited, the energy they put in is limited, the length of concentration, because the people are restless. This is an age of restlessness. So people are very restless. Attention that they can give are restricted, limited. So better to concentrate on your chanting and on the study of Srila Prabhupada books rather than on the deity. The deity is there, but keep Gaur-Nitai deities where you don't have to dress them regularly. You don't be strict with them in the sense of the upacharas, the 32 upacharas, 64 upacharas. So upacharas are offerings, okay? So what you should say that, okay, you can have Gaunita deities, but you offer your food to Gaunita. You can keep them, some keep in the kitchen, some keep in the temple. If you have a big house, you can have a separate house, separate room for the deities. But always use the deity, the deity there, offer your food and get prasad, do all these basic things. But now if you go into elaborate deity worship, then it's not proper. Some people will be in competition, will say, today I'll dress my Lord much more better than you, or I have more better clothes for my deities than others. So then you know where the problem is starting, because there are so many anarthas in the heart that creating this type of talk and this type of feeling is coming. So then you'll end up committing offenses if you're not chanting your rounds and prepared mentally to worship a deity. You understand what I'm saying? This is a very important word I'm mentioning. The same thing, like comparing Grihasthas and Grihamedis. Grihamedis would be comparing with each other and competing with each other. उसके पास एक गाड़ी है, मेरे पास दो होना चाहिए. इसके पास ये jewelry है, मेरे पास और होना चाहिए. I mean, this car, and we're competing. But the Grihasthas, they have Krishna in the center. Now, people are in a focus in competing with each other. मेरे बेटा ने SAT में 1600 को मिला, मुझको भी मेरे बेटा को होना चाहिए. Means I'm competing with that. My son is becoming a doctor. At least your son become a doctor. My son should become at least engineer, whatever. Everybody's competing. In the material world, it's like that. Whether you like it or not, people are competing. But this type of mentality, when we become devotees, from before people are Grihamedi, then now they're becoming Grihastha, trying to bring Krishna in the center of the life. Some anarthas will be there in the heart. That mentality will be there. Some mentality of competition or something like that. But if we don't cleanse that mentality, what will happen? When they will have deity, they will start comparing their deity with other people's deity. You understand? They're competing on that level now. They're competing on which deity is looking best. They're competing with the dress. Well, my deity's dress is much more better, or something like that. You know, some people are competing, like in material world, they're competing with saris. The latest fashion saris are there, so I have to get the latest fashion one. Or when you see all these type of things are there in the society. Last one example, one devotee was telling that some group just came. There was a group of Mataji. The kids go and learn dance, right? So one devotee, Mataji's daughter, also was going to learning from them. So they were sitting there, but the devotee Mataji was in a different mood. She's a devotee. Devotee always think about Krishna. But then she overheard the other Matajis. Their concern was what? On their phone, they were having having pictures of different type of saris, just new ones, or which one is going to wear, blah, 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 and all these words, all these things that you guys know those things. And she was feeling a bit odd. Oh my, look at this, they are still in that mood. And she was feeling like a fish out of water. That's right, because devotee thinking is different. So that's what I want to say, that if you have a bhakti viksha and the people are coming, so we have to create an atmosphere by which these anarthas, these obstacles in devotional service, like competitive mood of all these things, you have to be cleansed. And how can it be cleansed? Not by deity worship, by chanting Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. By cleansing the heart first, preparing that heart, cleanse it, right? And studying Prabhupada books, by association devotees, gradually, then they will come to that level, then they can engage in deity worship. Okay?
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji. And one more thing, Prabhuji. Previously, the house deities, they were like little smaller in size. Now we can see that very easily there is like 14-inch, 12-inch deities available, and people are worshipping that also. So,
but you should guide them properly. You should restrict them. I categorically tell them, I've been doing this for a long time. Why you just to show people you have big deities now? It's not like that. We should be very humbly. It's a humble process. It's a humbling process, Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is a very humbling process. So there's nothing in having big deity or small deity. Gopal Bhatt Goswami was worshipping Shaligram Shila, very small Shaligram. And by his devotion, this Shaligram manifested in Radharaman temple. This is deity worship. This is real deity worship. You should ask ourselves when our worship, if we are worshiping, that will transform into Krishna, like Radharaman. That should be the mood of deity worship. Not having, I have a 14 now. I had a small Krishna now. Now I'm going to take the 14 on the 15. And later when I have a bigger house, I'll take the whole big murti. That's not the mood of doing deity worship. Unfortunately, because we didn't take care of our anarthas in our heart, and we were introduced to deity worship in a very early stage, this is what happens. We can see this is happening because of that reason. So that is, we should be very careful and follow Srila Prabhupada. If we would have followed Srila Prabhupada word to word, letter to letter, we would not have been in this problem now. Srila Prabhupada would never encourage this type of thing. Concentrate on the chanting, serving devotees, serving the temple, do devotional service at the temple, serve the deities at the temple. And then there are small deities for your family where you can raise Krishna conscious children. The real idea of having deities at home is because of the children. To raise Krishna conscious children, we have to have deities at home. Srila Prabhupada would often say in his book that he learned everything about Krishna's devotional service through his father. And when he was a child, he would see how his dad was offering food. After work, he would come and he'll hear the bell ringing, and then he'll rush to the deity room and see the dad offering food. And all these things about deity worship he learned from his dad, Gaur Mohan De. But preaching, he learned from his spiritual master. So the real idea of having deity worship at home is for raising Krishna conscious children. Okay?
Yes, Prabhuji, one more last thing, Prabhuji. I want your advice on this. This has been my take also, because that's what I have heard from devotees, that unless you start chanting 16 rounds and take initiation, don't start deity worship. But somehow or other, I don't know, Krishna willing, and somebody else also, some other preachers coming in and getting deities for them. So right now we have some families who have been chanting 4 or 5 rounds, but they've been worshipping deities. In this condition, what is your recommendation for them to
change? Right? They already have the deity now. now we have to work with what we have. Now they already have a deity. Now what you should do? Tell me. If you've been listening to me now, you have to understand one simple thing. What do you think we should do?
They should chant 16 rounds, Prabhu.
No. You should try to teach them not to commit offense towards the deity. That is the point. Now you already have a deity. Now the second step is you have to learn about the offenses. That's the basic thing. That we have to teach them not how not to commit offense towards the deity. Or else the Harinam may be offense kar rahe hain, devotee bhi offense kar rahe hain, and deity ka offense kar rahe hain. Where they will end up?
Yeah.
Spiritually they will finish. At the end of time they will have accumulated so much of offense that they won't see, I'm itne saal mein bhakti kar raha hu, aage nahi badh raha hu. And they will ask you these questions. Masterji, I've been in this movement for 10 years and still I'm not seeing any progress I've made so far. But you You're committing offenses so much. Because of those anarthas, you're not taking care of the anarthas. Anarthas explained in Bhakti Trilogy by Vishwanath Thakur, Madhura Kandamini, and also many books they explain about how anarthas are like weeds growing next to the Bhakti Lata Bij. And then you're not taking care of those weeds, how the plant will grow? How the Bhakti plant will grow? If you're not taking care of those weeds. You're allowing the weeds to grow, and you're not taking care of the Bhakti Lata Bij. So Namata, Bhakti Vriksha was meant to sow the Bhakti Lata Bija in the hearts of people. That was the main focus of the Bhakti Vriksha, is to sow the seeds of Bhakti in the hearts, to take care of that seed into seedling, gradually nourishing and nurturing it into a nice tree. That was meant. That's why the name is Bhakti Vriksha. Into Vriksh. Vriksh means tree. Until the seed becomes a tree. And unfortunately, this is what the first step now is. The people who are having deities now, if they are not ready, they have it now, is to teach them how not to commit offense. And remember my words properly. I said, how not to commit offense. Very important. That's another class. Okay, Mataji?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So we'll have two classes, Prabhuji. One is like what is the basic rules of deity worship, Aarti, Abhishek, dress changing, everything like you can explain, and then the next thing would be how not to commit offenses. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. We are very fortunate to have you on the call and guide us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
मेरा काम बढ़ गया.
काम बढ़ गया.
ज़्यादा बोलने से काम बढ़ जाता है, देखो.
अच्छा. Just 1 second. Not much longer. See, one of our relatives, they went to India and they brought a Saligram Sila. So, and now they're calling me and find out. So then I said, it's difficult to worship the Saligram. They think that it will be very easy, maybe, whoever, however. So then what to tell them about? They are asking advice from me. When I say I never worship.
Problem. Now, listen. Saligram Shila worship is usually recommended by the spiritual master. Your spiritual master will be you should get the permission from your spiritual master before any deity. Even deities, even if you have deities, you have to always ask permission from your spiritual master. And then if you get permission from spiritual master, you can worship a deity or Saligram Shila. That's one. Now, second thing, which is more important, is the Saligram Shila is obtained only after worshipping a deity or after having worshipped. Means, suppose I'm worshipping deity at the temple. I'm dressing Krishna or I'm doing deity. I mean, pujari work. You have to be pujari. I don't agree people who are not pujari to worship Saligram. There's no question. I don't find any scripture. That's their own mental speculation people are doing, but it's explained like that. The main thing of worshipping Saligram Shila is to be absolved from the offenses of committing in deity worship. Because when we do deity worship, certain offenses are being committed on the altar that we can't prevent. For instance, that's why pujaris should know how to eat, when to eat. If you pass gas on the altar, it's an offense, right? That's why you have to control your eating habits. It should be before one. Now, there are certain offenses. Suppose if you've been doing dressing, you will know that sometimes we use pin, and a pin accidentally you touch Krishna like that. That is an offense. There are so many different offenses. I list, that's another class I'm saying we will do another time. But the Shaligam Shila worship was meant that whatever worship deity offenses that was performed, it can be absolved. Absolved means reduced completely by the worship of the Shaligam Shila. That is one. Second, the Shaligam Shila was actually meant, in Prabhupada explaining that, if we don't have an Utsav deity, because all the temples, they're supposed to have an Utsav deity. Utsav deity is a small Radha Krishna, when we have big Radha Krishna, which is marble, which we can't do Abhishek, because it would spoil the paint, would spoil the marble. So we'll do the Abhishek of the small deities. That's called Utsav deities. And the Utsav deities are meant, actually, when there is Janmashtami, they can take in the palanquin and go around the temple and show the property and everything. That's the Utsav deity. But some temples, they don't have enough pujari, they don't have Utsav deity. Then they are allowed to keep one Shaligam Shila, because the Shaligam Shila will accept the worship of all the different deities, the big deities, through the Shaligam Shila. So all the upacharas, like the Achanam, Padam, Madhuparkam, and then the Abhishekam, and all these different items, 64 upacharas are being accepted through the Shaligam Shila for all the deities. You don't have to go and separately exactly and worship, because the deities, when you do Pran Pratishtha, they are Krishna. You're supposed to perform the 64 upacharas, the whole worship in the temple, like that. That's why we have Shaligam Shila. So now you know there's two things. Now, when in the qualification, you know that should be pujari. Now, if you're not a pujari, you've not been doing deity worship, and then you go in India and take a Shaligam on your own, without the permission of whatever happen, and then some people even buy. You're not supposed to buy. That is a big offense. So if you thinking that you can get a Shaligam Shila like your desire, no, it's only by worshipping the deity for a while that you desire inside your heart. You will have a desire that will come, that I want to worship a Shaligam. Then, by the arrangement of the Shaligam, you will get the Shaligam. This is real Shaligam worship. Artificial Shaligam worship is you go and buy and then do those things, which is offense. You can't buy Shaligam Shila. It will come to you. All my Shaligam Shila that came to me, they came to me. They were giving as gift, and they came to me. I had a simple desire to worship only one Shaligam Shila. And once I got one, and everybody came after them. So that is a process. That is a process. But personally, you go and get also then it's an offense. Now, the best thing, what I've seen in this situation, by experience I'm telling you, what will happen for these people, they will end up giving the Shaligam Shila to somebody. Usually it happens like that. Just like an example, I won't take names. There was one couple that went to India, and from there they got the Shaligam, and then when they came here, they couldn't worship because they had kids, they had work, they couldn't worship, and they didn't want to do offense, and they gave it to me. Because I was in Pujari there, they went and gave it to the temple, and then the temple they gave it actually. I was at Pujari, and there was a Shaligam, and then other Pujaris complained, why we have Shaligam on the altar, and then finally I took the Shaligam to me, and it came to me, and I'm still worshipping the Shaligam Shila until now. So that's an example I'm giving. So the advice is to always tell the people who are not qualified to worship Shila, don't worship Shila. That's the first thing.
Don't worship Shila, right?
Yeah, that's the first thing. Because you're going to commit offense.
I know.
Your mind isn't ready. Your mind is not prepared to do that. So don't prepare. It's as we know, because we know we are in spiritual life, it's our duty to do. The police officer has a duty to tell the civilians not to cross the roads in the red light. So that's our duty, to tell them.
Yes, a red light.
You will commit the offense.
That's what I told him.
Return it to the place where you got it, or you give it to someone who can worship.
Okay.
That's
what I say. You can talk to this person and give them. If they ask them if they will worship, It is very small. Just Shaligram Shila. So that's why I said, what is it? I don't know.
Let me give you, usually I don't give, I always give personal example. Let me give one personal example. My desire was for my mother to worship a Shaligram Shila because I have Shaligram Shila. So I had a desire that my mother can worship Shaligram Shila because she's old, so old, and I wanted her to worship, develop a attachment to the deity and to the Shila. That was my desire. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
5 years ago, when I went to my country, there, 5 years ago when I met my mom, I met my mom before also, but I went 5 years ago. I said, okay, I went to visit, and then before I come back here, there was one pujari there who wanted to give me Shaligram Shila. So the pujari, because he knows that I worship Shila, so he wanted to give me. So I said that it was the last day. I was already leaving for the airport, so I couldn't take. I say, okay. I told the pujari, give it to my mother because I wanted my mother to have a Shaligram Shila, and she can worship.
Mm.
So I taught her naturally how to do the upacharas and how to do everything. But she was not so ready. But what happened? I end up, at the end of the day, we end up giving back the Shaligram Shila to the pujari.
Mm.
She was unable to worship it nicely, properly as it should be. She started worshiping, giving water, archmanam and everything, doing that. But she didn't maintain. So then she had to give it back to the pujari. That's what will happen. Actually, see, the Shaligram, we should understand that for the deities, we have Pran Pratishtha, where we invite the Lord to reside in the deity. Shaligram is Krishna avatar. Sakshat Bhagwan. Means there is no difference in Krishna and the Shaligram. There is no required Pran Pratishtha. It is actually Krishna coming to your house, coming to you. Now, the Krishna is there and you are able to worship nicely and do things nicely for him, then it's no offense. It's better to give back to where it came from, or to give it to somebody who's worshipping. So.
Okay, yeah, because that's what I mentioned. Because I think it's very difficult to worship, because it's so much.
You have to be committed. You have to, and you can't eat before you worship Shila.
Yeah.
So you can't eat. You have to be regularly. You have to be like temple type of worship, like strict for one time.
Yeah, that's what I said, what I knew. But then I said, well, still there's Sri Chaitanya Prabhu, he has so many Shilas and Shivu he's worshipping. So then I said, just talk to him and see what can be done. So he said, okay. So,
I mean, they messed up everything. The point is, in this age of Kali, the way to get Krishna is by chanting.
Chanting, yes.
The Yug Dharma is chanting, not deity worship.
Yeah, they are chanting, but the thing is they can't give up tea. They have to have tea. So then I said, well...
This is physically things.
I know.
This is physical things, tea. What in their heart, we don't know. They can give up those things in the heart first, and then you can worship properly. Also coming off, just like I said in the beginning. So many offenses will be committed. If they're still Grihamedis and then trying to deity worship, then you will commit offense.
So then
you have to become Grihastha.
Yeah. So I'll let them know again, call and this, but this is what I have found out. But then it's not. Well, I don't know what he's going to do, but I just
you do your best.
Okay.
You I know you will do the best. Do these two things.
They have a nice golden deities. They have nice golden deities. I said, that's fine. I said, you have golden deities, that's complete. You don't need to worship, worshipping on this. Can you just keep on also? So I say okay, but then it's not proper either. Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Very, very nice. Because I was in a puzzle. I was puzzled. I said, what should I say then?
Yeah. The bottom line is we should have them not to commit offense. We should
commit
offense. That's the point.
Yeah, that's what I see.
For their own good, for their own spiritual life.
That's what I also say, that it's not good. It would be a very difficult situation if we commit an offense. So, thank you very much.
If somebody is single, that's a difference.
Not single. They are married. They have kids.
They marry. They have children, and this is not practical at all.
Yeah.
And on top of that, they are not initiated and everything. So.
Chanting, but not other things. It's not that they just eat at home, offering the food and then eat. But then when they go to some relatives or some acquaintances and then they offer food, it's not offered. It's like that. So but chanting is there, but then it's not. I don't know how the chanting is also, but still. So I said, however,
what about the four
chanting would be good.
The four regulatory principles is there. That's why we say that
you
should be initiated, because if you don't follow the four regulatory principles, you will be committing offense while worshipping the Shaligam Shila. So
then I also mentioned that to worship Shaligam you have to be brahmachari. Only brahmachari can worship. That's what I told him. Because a sannyasi are worshipping and then brahmachari can worship. I said. But it's difficult.
Or Grihastha Brahmachari. You can become Grihastha Brahmachari also.
Yeah, Grihastha Brahmachari also. That's fine. Yeah, you're worshipping, but then anyway. So I don't know what they're saying.
Properly, no.
I'll just let them know. And what can you do?
So that's why we say that if instead of committing offense, please return it. Return the Krishna to where it came, and or give to somebody who can worship.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned. This is what you can do. Just give to somebody, or ask it to give to somebody, and then let them worship. If somebody wants to worship, then can worship. Thank you, Prabhuji. Sorry to take you so much.
No. Today is Sunday, so you can do.
Yeah. Okay.
Sunday.
Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna.
For the nice guidance. I have one question, Prabhuji. So, we learnt a lot about Shaligram Shila, but what about Govardhan Shila? Do the same apply to Govardhan Shila also?
Yes.
Same, Prabhu. See, Govardhan and Shila and Shaligram Shila, they are all manifestation of Krishna. They are Krishna avatar. They are not Pran Pratishtha Sthapit Murti. It's non-different from Krishna. Krishna himself says it. There's non-difference from me and the Shaligram and the Govardhan Shila. I'll tell you one story for Govardhan Shila. If you guys have time, you can. So when I was Brahmachari and I was in Delhi, I was preaching in Delhi sometime, and there were some people visiting from Mauritius to go to Govardhan Parikrama and everything. So I told them, okay, I'll guide you guys to Govardhan Parikrama. We'll do Govardhan, but you should not take anything from Govardhan because it's an offense. So they had different ideas. So they weren't initiated yet at that time. So they all came. We went to Vrindavan and so everything. When we came back to Delhi, I felt sick. I got sick. Everybody is sick. The whole group became sick and sick and sick. Everyone said, I said, how become sick? So we had committed some offense. And I'm asking them, did anybody commit offense? Then one of them said, I took one's Govardhan Shila. I told this guy, why? I told you in the beginning, don't take anything from the Govardhan there. He said, I took. Then we have to go back and offer obeisances and put back the Govardhan Shila back there, and then everything became nice after that. So you don't take Govardhan Shila like that. It says that unless you're given a gift, Shilas are also that you get a gift, and then you have to give that amount of gold, in terms of gold, the same weight of gold to someone who you're taking from there, on the permission with somebody. So we should be very careful. No Same rules apply for Govardhan Shila and Shaligam Shila. Okay?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Again, just one little thing.
Sorry.
Yeah, when first time I went to Vrindavan, I had no idea, nothing. And one of the Pandit took us to the sightseeing up from the different temples and things, and also took the Govardhan. And I said, okay, so then I saw a very nice, very beautiful stone, Govardhan Shila. So I said, oh, this is very nice, I will take. So I picked up the Govardhan. And then I walked for some time. Then I said, no, I should not do this. So then somehow I just, from within, as I just left, I put the Shila back by the Govardhan. So then I said, why do I do that? But it doesn't matter. But then gradually I knew that the Govardhan Shila, if some Brajavasi give you, then you can accept and worship. So that's what I heard. I said, well, it was good that Krishna within guided me to leave the Shila back there.
Yeah, you can't play with these things, I'm telling you in the beginning. Better to play safe. Yeah. Yeah.
Prabhuji, if you have time, one last thing.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
There you go.
So, Prabhuji, there was a family who was coming to Bhakti Vriksha, and they were slowly starting to practice chanting 2-3 rounds. But when they went somewhere, one devotees gave them Radha Krishna deities. They are very small, like 3 inches deities, but they have been worshipped by somebody, and that devotee was not able to worship, and so this was given to this couple who are slowly coming. So I didn't know what to do at that point of time. They were keeping, and I assumed that they are following regulative principles, but only they are not chanting enough. But lately I came to know that one in the household member are still eating meat, and they cook also in that house.
Oh my God.
So I advise them to put the deities to rest. So I want to know if...
No. You should advise them to give the deity back to the person who gave them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they should be teaching a lesson. That person who gave it back, some people, they like to earn favor. I gave some deity, then they will earn some favor. Some people materially motivated. I'm telling you one thing, by experience. These things happen because of not Krishna conscious way of giving gifts. We have this thing called 7 types of exchanges among devotees. Priti Toshani. Toshani means gift. If there's a way to give gift to someone, you don't give a gift in return of something or materially motivated to earn favors. And things, in terms of deities and Krishna conscious things will flow nicely in a nice way when it is properly done in the Priti Toshani way. But things that are being done not in a Krishna conscious way, with ulterior motivations behind, will always create problems. Like in material world, Prabhupada would say that there's no material solutions to material problems, because each material solution will give rise to other problems. And this is what is happening. Because there was a material motivation behind the person giving the deity to this person, it will create a series of all material problems. Understand? So the best thing for that couple is to give back the deity to the person who gave them. You understand? That is the best thing to do.
Yeah, okay, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Very well.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have a small question. So, Prabhuji, you mentioned that one should do deity worship only after giving, all the anarthas are gone. So how do we know our anarthas are gone?
No. I didn't say that all anarthas are gone. The gross anarthas are gone. Gross, I mean the grossly ones. So what I'll prescribe is that at least you are initiated. When the gross anarthas, when I say gross anarthas, it's like the four basic regulatory principles are followed. The four basic regulatory, and you're chanting your 16 rounds. Once you're following the four regulatory principles and chanting the 16 rounds, you will have a degree of purity by which you can start deity worship, but under the direction of your spiritual master. Devotional service which is done without the direction of the spiritual master is an unnecessary disturbance to the society. What is that sloka? I forgot the sloka in Sanskrit, but find it, Anil Prabhu, find that Sanskrit sloka. This is the translation. Devotional service which is done, and which is not done under the guidance of the spiritual master is an unnecessary disturbance to the society. So that's why your deity worship, which should be started under the guidance of spiritual master, with the permission of spiritual master. You ask the spiritual master, now I'm chanting 16 rounds and I got initiated, I'm allowed to start a small deity worship at home. And that's why deity worship officially starts when you get Brahman initiation. That's why we have Brahman initiation, because I personally, I am not qualified Brahmana. I only got Brahman initiation because there was a need of a pujari, and then I was qualified. My spiritual master gave me the Brahman thread so as I can worship deity at Lucknow temple. Lucknow temple in 1994. We had a temple there and we had deities, and there was pujari missing, and then I got my Brahman initiation there to worship deities. I got Brahman initiation just to worship my deities. And gradually I learned so many things in my devotional career, and still learning. I'm trying to be a Vaishnava. I'm not even good Brahmana Vaishnava, but I'm trying to. So the point is, the whole idea is the initiation into deity worship officially comes when you get Brahman initiation. But if you want to worship Gaunita deities or other deities at home, then at least you should have your first initiation, your 4 rounds, your 4 regular principles and your 16 rounds. Then you can worship deity at home. That is, if I was if I was put on the spot to say something like that, I'll declare that. And I will condemn every deity worship that's being done before attaining this a certain level of purity. Worship pictures. Look, when we were home, when we were not devotees, when we were at our parents' home, in our Hindu houses, what do they have? They have pictures. Well, we have picture of Krishna. We have picture of Lord Shiva. We have picture of that before. And we were, bachpan se hum log aarti karne aa rahe. And from childhood, we are worshipping those pictures. And in the deity worship book, the Acharya is say there is no difference between a painting of Krishna and because the Acharya Vigraha can be manifested in terms of painting also. Wood, the Acharya Vigraha can be made of painting, wood, marble, jewels, and stone. Right? So painting also is as good as the deity. But the rules do not apply for Acharya Vigraha Seva. For Pacharas, it can be simple arti and offering food and arti. So we prescribe to people, you want to worship? Yes, worship a picture of Krishna. Offer your food to a picture of Krishna. That's what we have to preach in the beginning. Not deity. Chant your rounds. Study about Prabhupada books. And then the photo of Krishna is there, the picture of Krishna there, you offer food there. That is the beginning. That is the beginning steps. Then later you can take deity worship as according to your spiritual master's recommendation and permission. This is clear?
Yes, please. Thank you very much, Hare Krishna.
Preach this to people. Tell them there is no difference between Krishna and his murti. Picture of Krishna. So why you offer? You have already had picture of Krishna, so you offer to Krishna. All the namatas Bhakti Bhiksha, she tells, okay, you're already offering to Krishna. We don't need deities right now, at this stage. Then we will be serious about what we are doing in Krishna consciousness. We'll preach in the right way. Yeah. I remember when I was brahmachari in Amritsar, we were preaching. We were preaching every day. We would go out and preach and distribute books, do Harinam, and make life members. That was our main job. And we didn't have any deity. We had a picture, and we were worshipping the picture. And then I was introduced to deity Balkrishna by one Mataji from Delhi. She was telling about deities. Then this is how she said this Gopal. She was talking about the Gopal. She was a small Gopal, and wherever she was going, but she would carry the Gopal. And then we were brahmachari, we were preaching, so we didn't have any deity. We don't have time to take care of deity. But the mood towards the deities by her teachings about how she was dealing with the deity like a baby and then her teachings, I took her teachings. I mean, that was my first exposure to like deity, like properly when I was in brahmachari. When I was like brahmachari stage, she was like very attached to this small baby Krishna and the way she was worshipping the baby Krishna. So I took that teachings from her. Although I didn't take to deity worship at that time, but I had that inclination from that. That was the seed of deity worship sowed in my heart at that time. And much later in my life afterwards, that I started doing deity worship. In the beginning stages, even if I was initiated to brahmachari, I was not doing deity worship. I started doing afterwards. So in the beginning stage, we have to concentrate on our chanting and our study of Prabhupada books.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
And did you find the shloka?
No, Prabhuji, I couldn't find it. I did a lot of Google search. Only thing I could find out is the book on Archana Paditi PDF of Prabhupada.
No, the shloka, I have that shloka. It's not with me, but I have a book of shlokas. You know, I have a book with all these shlokas. I think Deva is about Tata Guru, Deva Guru, something like that. I tell you at times I'm getting old now. I'm forgetting shlokas, so many shlokas I've forgotten because I don't remember my shlokas. When I was brahmachari, I used to remember so many shlokas. Now when you go to other things, you forget.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, what shloka he is looking for?
You know that shloka would say that devotional service not performed under the guidance of the spiritual master is an unnecessary disturbance to the society.
Bhagavad Gita is on Your Shastra is in Utsrijya. Vartate Kam Karata. Is that the one? In Bhagavad Gita?
No. It's not Bhagavad Gita shloka. It's not a Bhagavad Gita shloka.
Pancharatrika Vidhi.
Yeah.
Pancharatrika Vidhi means that Rupa Goswami recommended that verses you were telling. Yeah.
Yeah, send that to Anil Prabhu and everybody.
I don't know all the sloka, but Pancharatrika Vidhi, Bhakti Utpatek, some kind of.
Yeah, Bhakti. Google that, Anil Prabhu. You should get it right now.
Okay. Could you repeat that again, Mataji?
Also Google, I didn't find Prabhu. Pancharatrika Vidhi, something Bhakti Utpate or something.
पुराणादि पंचरात्रि की विधि न एकांत की हरे भक्ति एक उत्पाद एव कल्पते. Is that the one?
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll confirm now. 1 minute.
I think my search, I didn't get it.
You got it?
No.
I don't know my book also. I'll get it.
I think same verse. What Mataji mentioned, that same verse.
Yeah. 1 second. Yeah, I have a library at home, so now I'm going into my library. So I have a book. Let me check here. In my library, there's so many books. So let me. I got my. Let me check this one. Let's see this. One time.
I found the verse. Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatrika Vidim Vina.
Yeah.
Kantiki Harir Bhaktir Utpataiva Kalpate. That verse you were talking, yes? Sorry, Prabhu. I knew the. I don't know by.
Bhaktira Sindhu.
Yeah. Amrita Sindhu. Yes, Prabhu. Devotional service of the Lord that ignores the authorized Vedic literatures like the Upanishad, Puranas, and Narada Pancharatra.
Yeah.
Simply an unnecessary disturbance in society.
Society. Yeah, it's Bhaktira Sindhu 12101.
Yes.
Bhaktira Sindhu 12101. Shruti Smriti Purana Di Pancharatra Vidhi Vina. Aikantikkehi Harer Bhaktir Upatyaiva Kalpate. Devotional service to the Lord that ignores the authorized Vedic literatures like the Upanishad, Puranas, Narada Pancharatra is simply an unnecessary disturbance of society. That is a thing that we have to really tell people. That's very nice. I really like this class today. Everybody get together and then work and then get this. So make a note of those slokas. Every Sunday, not every Sunday, during alternative Sundays. So we'll look for some this type of slokas, and we'll be able to have a collection of those verses that we can use in preaching. Okay. Abhi साढ़े 9 बजने वाला है.
Yes, Prabhuji, and next class we will do on the DT worship, so devotees can have the details. Thank you.
Yeah, you arrange. Let me know when. Now,
yeah.
Let me. Yeah, we'll do it nicely, but give me some time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, then I really appreciate thank you for all your questions and comments. That is very nice. Every Sunday we should be like that, very enthusiastic with question and answers. This makes us very happy in Krishna conscious and check, that our goal, what is our real goal, in this material world, especially in where we are right now. So the Maya is very strong in the sense that why I'm saying Maya is strong means forgetfulness of Krishna. We can easily forget things. So if we want to do the things the right way, we should associate with the right people and follow the scripture just like we say today. Okay then.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. Please.
Praises to all the Vaishnavas.
Panchakalpatarabhyasya kripa sindhu vivacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo. Hare Krishna everyone. Jai.
Thank you very much.
Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Srila Prabhupada. Jai.